Welcome back to General Science. We are going to talk about, in more detail, the periodic table of elements. So these red ones, if you recall, are alkali metals. In orange, we have the alkaline earth metals. In the blue there, we have transition metals. And then that green section there are the nonmetals. We're going to talk about all these things in more detail. This is a zoomed up version of hydrogen as we see it in the periodic table. And then we have a hydrogen atom picture with a nucleus of 1 proton and an electron on the outskirts. Suppose I say that this blue circle with a minus sign is an electron. Okay, and then I make this orange circle with a plus sign a proton. And then I'm going to make a purple circle represent a neutron. Okay, so I'm going to draw some pictures and we're going to try to identify what kind of element it is. So if I draw a orange proton in the middle and then one blue electron, then I say, well, the atomic number, which is equal to the number of protons, is equal to 1 in this case. Therefore, if we look at the periodic table of element and look up where is the atomic number of 1, I see that it's hydrogen. Okay, so then I know that this must be a hydrogen atom. Okay, so this is the element of hydrogen. So let's say I draw another picture. Okay, and this time I draw these two plus sign orange ones, and then I have these two purple guys, and then on the outside I have two blue ones that are kind of orbiting around. Okay, in this case, the atomic number here is going to be 2. Okay, so if I look on the periodic table and I look for 2, I see that it's helium. Okay, so this is a helium atom. Okay, so now if we look at these purple ones here, these are neutrons. So they actually contribute extra weight and don't do too much else other than that. Okay, so that's why these are that's why helium is much heavier than hydrogen, because it has those extra weights. Okay, so this is a neutral charge because we have 2 protons and 2 electrons. They balance each other out. But I may lose or gain an electron, and thus this would change it to be either a plus or minus charge. But in this case, we're talking about neutral charged atoms. Okay, so let's say I draw another picture. And let's say this time it is 4 of these purple guys. And then I have 3 orange guys. And then I'm going to draw 3 different blue guys. 2 of them are going to be orbiting around the same circle, and then the third guy is kind of on the outside of them. Okay, we'll talk about why they are on different levels in a second. So the atomic number is 3 because I have 3 protons, which means this must be lithium. Okay, so that if you look up on your periodic table, you see it's lithium. And again, those purple guys are contributing extra weight. Okay, so if we talk about the relative weight of all these different things, we have electrons, which are the tiniest. They're really, really small. And they are much smaller than protons, which is the next smallest. And then that's even smaller than neutrons. So neutrons are the biggest, then I have protons, then electrons are the smallest. They're very, very, very tiny. Okay, so let's say we bring back the periodic table of elements. Now we're going to talk about the difference between the rows and the columns and how we classify the different kinds of elements relative to these. Okay, so the rows we're going to call periods. Okay, so you can see that lithium and beryllium are along the same row, which means they're in the same period. Okay, so anything in the same row is in the same period. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about are groups. Groups correspond to the columns. Okay, so we have a bunch of different columns, and all of those represent different rows. So if I take a look at beryllium and magnesium, I see that those are in the same group. Okay, and if you see any 2 things in the same column, then you know that they are indeed in the same group. Okay, so we're going to take a look at 1A, 2A, 3B, etc. You'll see those at the top of your periodic table before each column. Okay, so one is the alkali metals. Okay, so you'll see those on the very left. Okay, so let's just note that anything in the same group has similar properties. Okay, they're going to behave in a similar way. Okay, so alkali metals end up reacting with water and create an alkaline solution. Okay, so anything in that group 1A is going to do that. Okay, next we have group 2A. Okay, group 2A is going to do something similar, except that the oxides are going to react with water and create an alkaline solution. So they're pretty similar to alkali, just slightly different in the way that behave. Okay, group 8A is now what we're going to talk about. Those are all the way on the right. Those are the noble gases, if you recall. And they are not very reactive at all. Okay, they don't do much. However, everybody wants to be like them. And again, we'll talk about that in a later lecture. Okay, so we're going to divide the periodic table into sort of three main groups: metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. Okay, so first let's talk about metals. If we look on the periodic table, we'll see this sort of step-like pattern. Okay, so if you see that kind of border to the left of the yellow, all of those are metals. Okay, so they're all to the left of the step-like pattern. So metals have a few properties. They are malleable, which means they can be made into a thin sheet, sort of like stamped down into a sheet. And then we have ductile, which means they can be stretched into long wires. Okay, and then we have that they are good conductors. They can conduct electricity as well as heat. Okay, that's why it's dangerous to touch a hot spoon if it's been sitting in hot liquid, because it conducts all the heat up to your hand. They are lustrous and shiny, which we have probably observed in life, and they are solid at room temperature. Okay, so now we're going to talk about everything to the right of that step-like pattern. These are non-metals. Non-metals have a few properties. They are usually brittle. They do not conduct, and most of the time they are gas. They are gases at room temperature. Okay, there are a few exceptions, but for example, we have oxygen, and you guys know that this is probably a gas at room temperature. It would be weird to see solid oxygen. Okay, then we're going to talk about this yellow category. That's sort of like in between the step-like pattern. These are metalloids. They don't really fall into either category. That is all for today. Next time we are going to talk more in detail about everything having to do with the periodic table. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.